Well, I mean, it's time to do our video on the schedule, which we will get to our regular scheduled programming. However, the Bombers created a video game. And so we're going to go through this video game. It'll be just a couple minutes. And then me and Rick are going to talk all things CFL schedule. Let's get right into it. Gotta click the play. Oh. This is our time. I think this is the BC Lions.
It's our time! It's our time!
I get to throw snowballs. Snowblower. Opponent can't play in the cold. Maybe next year. The throw and shade. Oh yeah, this is definitely the Lions. Got the little paw prints everywhere. That's fun. Find Stanley. I gotta find Stanley Bryant. Oh, there he is. Now hiring head coach. Is this the Toronto Argonauts? This still counts as a home game because they're losing all theirs. And they're joking about how long it took them to find the head coach. Find Stan. Oh, do I just have to go back? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, this is the Tiger Cats. These overalls. They need the overalls to help them out. Who can we sign from Winnipeg this year? That's right. They're going to poach all of our talent again. Do I have to go back this way? There's Stan. Find Stanley Bryant. Who's this? This Red Blacks? Playoffs, what are those? Participation trophy. Oh my god. The shade being thrown. This is fun. And you're throwing little axes. Look at that. So did we go through all 9 teams or did we just go through some of them? Or just like the first few? This must be like our first few games or something like that. Oh. Oh. Oh shoot. Oh no. It's a big Davis Alexander. Put your shirt on. Oh. My biceps look massive in this shirt. Davis Alexander is the final boss. Something about worn sleeves. Oh my goodness. Here we go. The cringe radar is going off. We're so back. Oh. Got the Stampeders. Never mind. Do I get anything for the cereal? Seems like a nutritional meal. -1 to enemy speed. Going against the Stamps. Did I just see Stanley up there? There he is. Double shot. Oh, this gotta be the Elks. Twins, aren't they magnificent? Maybe we need another rebrand. Another rebrand for the Elks. Oh my god, I love this. Throwing all the shade. We're gonna turn this thing around. Oh, this gotta be Saskatchewan. Oh. And just like that. None of this matters. Oh my god. So this is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers schedule. There you go. We play against Calgary, Hamilton, bye week, Elks, Ticats, Argos, Red Blacks. What do you know, folks? Let's get right into the video.
Can they take the lead on this drive?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central CFL content for the fans, by the fans, and we got another video coming right up as the 2026 CFL schedule has been released, and there's a lot of fun stuff in there, and so we're gonna chat about it. So, Rick, firstly, starting off, this was something that you had mentioned to me as we chat a lot usually before we record. Week 1 and 2. 3 games.
Yes, sir.
3 teams on a bye week in both weeks 1 and 2, with Saskatchewan, Toronto, and BC on the bye week for week 1. And then in the bye week for week 2 is Edmonton, Ottawa, and Calgary. So I don't know how I feel about this, and the reason why, just not even about the whole schedule as a whole, just this in general. I feel like those 3-game weekends should be kind of saved for near the end of the season, once everyone's back in school and they're doing the Friday Saturday instead of the Thursday Friday Saturday Sunday. games, but I don't know. What's kind of your opening takes on this, I should say?
I mean, at least they get one out of the way early. I mean, the Toronto one in week 1, you could have definitely have seen that coming.
Yeah, well, because they're dealing with FIFA then, right?
Yeah.
Because Toronto doesn't play a home game until
So their first home game is August 6th.
week 10. That is their first home game. And actually, even if we look at BC, and just to clarify here, I want to make sure I have BC's up because BC, they also have the interesting situation where they have some home games that are touchdown Kelowna. So I want to make sure I have theirs open just from their social media, just because they had clearly indicated it there. The like if I'm looking here, why is this not popping up properly? Hold on a second.
So while you pull that up,
Mm-hmm.
so week 4 is going to be the Toronto home game in Saskatchewan. Week 6 is going to be the Toronto home game in Winnipeg. And then week 7 is going to be the home game in Hamilton.
Again, we say home game, but realistically, do you think that, I'll put it this way, do you think the announcer in Winnipeg's going to be
I
like,
was just going to answer that question.
I
was just going to answer that question.
I doubt
because because I got an answer earlier today.
Oh?
So the Toronto game day operations staff members will not be doing the games.
No, and that doesn't surprise me because even like, for example, the Bombers play-by-play team, like in stadium, the PA announcer did Grey Cup despite not being aligned with Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan or Montreal. And he called it pretty down the middle, despite the fact that obviously he has a lot of reasons to not be a Saskatchewan fan. The only exception is they had a second PA announcer in there specifically for the French, because Montreal was in the game. I imagine that this will essentially be a Bomber game. The only thing that could maybe make it anything like an Argonauts home game is that Toronto is probably going to get some of the revenue from it. You know what I mean? Like that's
pretty much it.
That's probably all it is in realistic. That would be anything indicating a home game in Winnipeg or Saskatchewan. That's what I would say. I pulled it up.
I was going to say, and don't forget with the players' benches, well, it doesn't really affect you guys. But it would not be surprised if you see for us, for in Hamilton anyways, that Toronto's fans, the ones that have their tickets a part of those games, that you don't see the teams putting some of their fans behind their stadiums in their seats.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I wanted to talk about here was because we talked about how Toronto was affected by the FIFA World Cup. Weeks 4 and 6, their first home games, but not really because they're in Saskatchewan and Winnipeg, so it's not really accessible to their fans per se. Their first real home game is week 10 in BMO Field. You know what I mean? And obviously this will be with the changes with the benches being on opposite sides. There's some seating rearrangement that's been happening with that. But then with the BC side of things, so they have a bye week 1, as we mentioned. Week 2 and 3, they play because they play Saskatchewan and Hamilton on the road. Their first home game is week 4. However, weeks 4 and 5, they're home games, but this is touchdown Kelowna. So both of these games will be home games, but they'll be in BC. So BC is having their home opener in Kelowna. So this will be kind of a bit of an exciting change of pace. I think those games are going to do very well. It sounds like, and we had done a whole video on Touchdown Kelowna, so I encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. But it looks like they're going to be doing kind of almost like a Grey Cup festival-esque kind of Canadian football festival sort of thing throughout the week between the games against the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Elks. So I think that should be fantastic. But then week 7, they're on the road. because they have a bye week, week 6. Then week 7 they're on the road in Edmonton, and then week 8 will be their first home game at BC Place in Vancouver. So BC affected not nearly as much as Toronto, as BC they just have a better option of how they can pivot to Kelowna, and then of course their first home game a little bit earlier, week 8, on July 25th, whereas Toronto, as we mentioned, August was it 6th that you said?
Yes.
That they have to wait till. Now, and what was the team you had mentioned? There's a team, because we're talking about kind of the interesting quirks of the schedule. So, in regards to Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, they play each other Labor Day, Banjo Bowl. That is the only 2 times they play against each other this year. Calgary does play Winnipeg 3 times as well.
4. So I'm gonna go over the little quirks because I have the article pulled up here. So we mentioned the Toronto stuff already. So the season opener this year is not a Grey Cup rematch, but except it is an East final rematch between Montreal and Hamilton on the road, or Montreal in Hamilton. It's Hamilton's first home game since 2019. We will not get a Grey Cup rematch until week 19, and then it's a home and home week 19 and week 20.
I hate that. I'm not gonna lie. I love the idea of the Grey Cup rematch being game 1 of week 1 of the CFL season. Now, I understand that potentially that couldn't happen if, say, Toronto or BC were in it and they could have, you know what I mean, for whatever problem's sake. But that's not what happened. And I understand that they probably were working on the schedule beforehand. So I understand that it would have been maybe a little bit of effort to kind of pivot to that. But the thing is that I remember in 2021, when the season kicked off, it was Winnipeg versus Hamilton. Obviously, the 2020 season had been canceled. So it was not even just, a new CFL season. It was return to Canadian football. You know what I mean? There was a year hiatus from the COVID-19 pandemic. And Winnipeg Hamilton, that was the money game. That was what everybody wanted to see. It was the Grey Cup rematch. They didn't get to do it in 2020. So it was very much it was highly anticipated, you know what I mean? And so it just felt like it was, you know what it felt like? It felt like we're picking up where we left off, you know what I mean? And we're going to see how this new season goes, who's going to get better, who's going to get worse, all that sort of stuff. And so I understand if you can't do it week 1, but week 19, come on, guys. Like, that's a long time to wait for the Grey Cup rematch, but I don't know. Maybe they'll build it and then the other thing to keep in mind, they're then playing each other again week 20, the very next week. It's Montreal at Saskatchewan, the very next week. So you're getting Grey Cup rematch twice over.
So then you have the quadruple header. September 12th, I call this the football day in Canada. You have 12 straight hours of football games.
And this is which day? Which week?
This is September 12th. I think it's week 15.
Oh my God, every game is that day.
Yeah. You have Ottawa at Toronto, Saskatchewan at Winnipeg, which is the Banjo Bowl, rematch of the Labor Day between Calgary and Edmonton, and then Montreal at BC.
Rick, could you imagine if we decided to stream all 4 games? We could do the ultimate CFL marathon.
Oh, you think I'm kidding? That's what I plan on doing that day.
Oh, hey, maybe that's what we plan on doing. Who knows, man?
Well, maybe you're at a game that weekend, that day.
That day? Well, maybe we will stream some of it, and you'll stream that Banjo Bowl.
But yeah,
I don't know. It's so much fun. I might just have to join you.
And then so we have the Road Warriors, which we've already.
What do you mean the Road Warriors?
Okay, 3 Down has Road Warriors in their article. It's only because the whole MLSE and playing 3 games on the road, They call them
Oh,
the Road Warriors.
see, when you
They're
say
not the
Road
Road
Warriors,
Warriors.
I think Hawk and Animal. I think the spike shoulder pads. I think actually
So,
there were some guys at the Grey Cup Festival, a bunch of rider fans that had the kind of the Hawk and Animal face paint, but riders. And then I will say, just clever thing that they did. They did little cutout of like Alouette birds, like the Alouette logo, and they stuck them on the spikes of the shoulder pads. So just credit to those guys. Um,
so the next one is Gobble Gobble. So it's making reference to Thanksgiving Day Classic.
okay, you're gonna need to send me this article. Who the fuck wrote this?
This is Three Down Nation.
This is Three Down Nation. Who's writing Gobble Gobble?
Well, because it's referencing to. You didn't let me finish. It's referencing to the Thanksgiving Classic, of
Yes.
which normally Red Blacks visit Alouettes. But
Yes.
this year, Montreal's playing host to Saskatchewan on a Thanksgiving Monday
Yeah. Actually,
in
I
the Grey Cup rematch.
let me just check something. Because I'm curious about something. And then one thing I just want to check if you can quickly continue. I just need to check something.
Sure. And then short weeks. So the CFL appears to have slightly short weeks in quotes. Games played on only 4 days of rest. Than there were in 2025. So
How many?
according to Three Down Nations count,
Uh-huh.
BC, Calgary, Edmonton all have 3 short weeks. Montreal has 2. Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Ottawa each have 1. Hamilton is the only team with 0.
Huh.
For what it's worth, teams coming off short weeks were 2 and 4 in 2025 when playing against the more rested opponents.
Yeah. Now, one thing I was looking into, and I don't know if I don't see a mention of this on that Three Down article. Is I imagine the Stampede Bowl is an annual tradition now. They started it last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I
Toronto this
believe.
year.
I was about to say it looks like that's just gonna. So the Stampede Bowl. I wasn't sure if that would be a Winnipeg Calgary tradition. I suspected it would not, as as the reason they're calling it the Stampede Bowl is it's the beginning of the Calgary Stampede. You know what I mean? And so that will be the Toronto game, Week 5, as the Calgary Stampede is from July 3rd to 12th. And so that game is Thursday, July 2nd, just the day before, which makes sense as it kicks off the Calgary Stampede over in Calgary. So Stampede Bowl this year between the Argos and the Stampeders.
So here's the problem is week 21. This is not an error. This is an actual thing. So they have 2 games going on at once.
Yeah, what's with
You have
that?
I don't know. Three Down had reached out to them and they said that it's not an error. It's an actual thing. So they have Edmonton at Saskatchewan at one time. I thought, maybe you should put the Edmonton and Saskatchewan game later and have a doubleheader that day.
Well,
When
especially
I
because
first
like
originally
you're playing you have an East home game and a West home game, so you'd think the West home game would start 3 hours later.
later.
Like I don't know why Saskatchewan doesn't start their game at 5 p.m. Central. That is because it's 2 p.m. Central, Hamilton. So that'd be like what? Is it
Yeah.
3 year time?
I
Whatever. Yeah.
I
That
don't
beats
know.
me. I don't know why they're doing that. That's a bit
I
silly.
want to see if
Then
okay, so they did go and fix the week 11 error that was on there because they had the one game listed twice.
okay.
And then the other one that I noticed was so earlier in the day they had week 13 listed as Labor Day weekend when it's actually week
No, it's not.
14.
I was about to say.
Yeah, so they've gone ahead and made some changes, but yeah,
Now,
apparently
interesting.
that
with all the Labor Day games that are happening, they're doing BC and Montreal are doing a home and home for Labor Day weekend. So I feel like that's a smart choice because if you think about it, realistically, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Toronto, Hamilton, Edmonton, Calgary have always been kind of the three big Labor Day games. Because you got Labor Day Classic Saskatchewan, Labor Day Classic Hamilton, and you got Battle of Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary.
Yeah.
So the problem is that they always struggled with that fourth game. So I feel like BC Montreal is actually probably the best way you can get eyeballs on that game. Because if you think about it, that game is your Nathan Rourke versus Davis Alexander. You at least have some sort of kind of draw into that game. That is interesting besides just being a Labor Day weekend game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that game has always kind of struggled when put up against the other ones because the other ones were the attraction. The Winnipeg Saskatchewan was the attraction. The Toronto Hamilton was the attraction. Edmonton Calgary. So I feel like the Nathan Rourke, Davis Alexander are kind of the quarterbacks of the future for the CFL going against each other. Good way to kind of make that work well. And that's actually why even then the next week, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, obviously, Banjo Bowl, Battle of Alberta again, Calgary, Edmonton, and then Montreal, BC play again. And I imagine the game that's probably not going to get as much attention, probably Ottawa and Toronto, which is on the Saturday earlier. And not because there's anything wrong with that game, just because, again, there's just more interesting stuff with the other games. So.
Don't forget that is the Ryan Dinwiddie return to Toronto.
You know what? That's a good point. I didn't think of that. You know what? I stand corrected. That's a very good point. I didn't even think of that. So my apologies there. I completely forgot about that.
And the interesting thing is so 2 weeks prior to Labor Day,
yeah,
Hamilton plays Toronto. So Hamilton plays Toronto twice in 3 weeks. We're having those flashbacks of that one year where we played them like 5 times within like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that on a video. I can't even remember when the hell that was. But then obviously the big thing of note as well is that because of Grey Cup being moved up, everything starts earlier now. So preseason week 1, our very first game will be Saskatchewan Calgary in the preseason week 1, May 18th, which honestly, it's funny.
It's the same as last year.
I've had, well, is it really?
Yeah, because last year was May 19th. Nothing's changed.
Then how the hell did they move Grey Cup a week earlier if nothing changed?
So
hold on.
Last year it was November 16th. What is it this year? This year is November 15th. It's not really.
Oh, you know what it is? It might be. It's next year. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, never mind. My mistake. But that's fine though, because honestly, I at first I was kind of like, yeah, now less chance of a snow game. You know what I mean? And I like my snow games. But I will say, I was talking to my dad about this because I was kind of like, what do you think about this? And he's like, you know what? As much as snow games are fun, do we really want the Grey Cup decided because somebody slipped and fell and dropped the ball on the ground? Because of weather conditions rather than just raw talent. You know what I mean? Do we want that being a factor? I don't know.
If you really think about it, the CPL was a soccer game was decided in a snow blizzard.
Okay, that was the coolest soccer thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not a soccer fan, but a bicycle kick over the head to win the CPL championship is the most Canadian shit I've ever seen. That's awesome.
The other interesting thing about the schedule is semifinals, Halloween. First game's at 3:00. Second game's at 6:00.
You know what?
How many people do you think will be rushing out to get their kids trick-or-treating?
Well, here's my thing.
If it's a blowout.
The CFL needs to appeal to the younger audience. The younger audience is going to be trick-or-treating.
Yeah, but if you think about it, though, okay. If you really think about it, game's over at 5:30. Don't people really trick-or-treat by like 5:30 anyways.
Well, the East final is over at 5:30. The West final starts at 5:30.
I mean,
Like that's the thing. It might work. Maybe yeah. People are done trick or treating in Hamilton, but if this game is out west, like the West final,
depends
it's
on what city
5:30.
it is.
Well, because think about it. It starts at 5:30 Central Time.
No,
So
no,
if it's
no.
Winnipeg
Okay,
or
let me rephrase
Saskatchewan,
this. What I was trying to say was, if it's not Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, those fans don't need to worry about it. Here's an easy plug. Did you ever think of CFL Plus? You watch CFL Plus on your phone while you take your kids trick or treating.
yeah. Well, trust me. That if I had kids, that's what I would be doing. But no, but that's the thing. That's because Rick, we pay for a VPN to get around this. Most people don't do that.
True.
We have a paid VPN that we use. Honestly, great stuff. NordVPN, keep up the good work. You
True,
get Canadian Football Central business. And so, yeah. Is there anything else that we got? Kind of key takeaways from the schedule? There was a lot to chat about.
I just
big,
think that it's funny that the last 5 weeks of the Hamilton schedule,
yes.
we have 2 games against Edmonton, home and home, 2 games against Ottawa, home and home, and a bye week. So if those teams are garbage this year, just saying, if they are, my lord, that's what a way to end the season.
Yeah. And I got to say, one thing before we do get going, if you want to know why I love the Bombers, besides just like when it comes to their off-field antics, besides just the
speaking of which,
now that you
mention that,
the creating a video game, shit talking every team in the league just to release a schedule, that's the dumb shit I love. That is so stupid, and I love every bit of that. That's how it was all over TSN when they did it, and that's the good kind of attention. I like that. I'm a fan, and they made a fun game.
Before we end this, do you want to see what 3 Downs rankings of those videos were?
Of which videos?
The reveal ones.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Can you send me the link?
Yeah. So Toronto got the boring 9 because they did not.
Toronto's pathetic graphic. Damn. To be fair, Toronto doesn't have an exciting schedule, so.
Saskatchewan got 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary was 7th. Hamilton was 6th, and they're bowling.
Hamilton goes bowling, yeah.
5 was Ottawa. I wasn't too fond of Ottawa's.
Yeah.
Edmonton was 4. I just found that hilarious of how they made the comment about the Justin Trudeau is more interesting than Ottawa has been.
Yes, Justin Trudeau's relationship with Katy Perry was someone in Ottawa family making it to the end zone. That's crazy.
And then the Toronto accent.
Yes.
Montreal was 3rd with Berglund going hunting.
But they had paintball guns, right?
Yeah. BC Lions was number 2 with the lie detector.
Yes.
And then obviously Winnipeg was number 1.
With them making a video game. Some of the jokes can be flat out obnoxious, which is arguably a good thing if the goal is to generate the largest possible. And that's the thing. This year was no different as Winnipeg. Like this is again. Thank you to everyone who watched the first 2 to 3 minutes of this video, watching me playing this video game. It's fun. Rick, if you haven't played it, after we're done recording this, I want you to play it, okay? So, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like in the video, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Rick, is there anything else you got, or shall we take it away?
Not coming up, no.
So, Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord, where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports. So make sure you guys go there and keep the conversation going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace, love, and positivity to all you wonderful people at home. We will see you guys next time.